Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. WWE Draft 2020 Night 1 is in the books, barring, at least on Smackdown it is. I know on Talking Smack they're going to be announcing some more. They'll probably dump some in overnight on WWE's Twitter or whatever. We're going to go over the draft in detail here in a moment. What do you think? So, I mean, the biggest move tonight, obviously, was seemingly the breakup of the New Day. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston made their returns in a big way. They won the SmackDown tag team titles, and immediately after, as Big E, who had gone through a brutal and fantastic Falls Count Anywhere match,
Yeah, that was great,
comes down to celebrate with them. The celebration was cut short by Stephanie McMahon, who comes out and announces that the New Day, the team of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, were being drafted over to Raw, and SmackDown is keeping Big E on their brand, thus essentially splitting them up. A lot of teary-eyed emojis I saw all over the internet. Larson, what's your take on this?
Well, I mean, we got a sense of something like this might be coming because WrestleVotes tweeted out something to this effect. So put the idea of this on the map. I saw a lot of complaints on Twitter about how it didn't make a whole lot of sense why Raw would draft all of the Hurt Business, a whole faction, but only 2/3 of another faction. So, you know, once there is some explanation for that, was it simply a thing where Raw was going to draft the SmackDown Tag Champs, period? Who knows? We may get an explanation. We may not. In terms of how to handle a faction breaking up, I much prefer this to someone turning heel, because when they do have their reunion, hopefully when Big E wins the Universal title at WrestleMania, it's going to be something else. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be awesome. But there's just a logic gap there that exists to explain why Raw would only take Kofi and Xavier and not E. That's kind of what's missing from the whole equation. The fact that they broke them up is a bummer. I'm a huge New Day fan. But you know, we'll get a great moment when they are reunited, and they will be reunited. It will happen.
So, yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said. There's a weird thing about Vince and the draft, and this has gone down like for all the drafts. Like, generally speaking, the rank and file WWE roster doesn't know what's happening until it happens in these drafts. Like, behind the scenes, they don't know until we know, until it happens on TV. I doubt that this was the case with, but Vince likes doing that to his wrestlers behind the scenes, and for some reason he enjoys that aspect of it on camera as well, like in kayfabe. So it's like the New Day don't get the courtesy after all they've done. They don't get the courtesy of somebody coming up to them, because this could be easily explained. We were talking about it before the cameras were rolling here for the live crowd on Twitch. If Scrap Iron had come up to them and said, "Hey, listen, guys, Big E, I fought tooth and nail to keep you here on SmackDown because I think you have a bright singles future here, but they really want Xavier Woods and Kofi, and we think it'll actually help all of your careers." If there was somebody giving the wrestlers on camera the respect to say, "Hey, this is why this is good for you," as opposed to just this weird Kafkaesque oh, we've decided. And there isn't even anybody who, like, I mean, I know at the last draft, it was USA and Fox. So maybe we can assume that it's the same thing. Maybe it's hey, USA really loves the New Day. Fox really loves the New Day. So let's split them, knowing that they'll still be friends, knowing that they can show up from time to time and support each other in big moments, maybe. But like, it'd be nice to hear them get that kind of news.
You know what? What else? It would have made more sense. And you wouldn't have had that dramatic pause between Steph announcing Kofi and Xavier and Big E. But if Big E had been drafted by SmackDown first, so SmackDown drafts Big E, and the New Day is like, okay, well, what about the rest of us? And then she says, Raw selects Xavier and Kofi, and then it's a situation where, whoever's running SmackDown, they really want Big E. There's kind of a baked-in explanation for the split there, as opposed to why didn't Raw just draft all three of them when they could have,
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it is one of those things where I do think that the storytelling, and I think you're right. I think they're going to be fine. I think Big E is probably in line for a big push. I would love to see him get the title at Mania. I'm sort of pessimistic about that, but I would love to see that happen. If this means that they're going to, put the tag teams over on Raw and unify the titles, and then the titles become either cross-brand or they just simply keep the WWE tag titles on Raw.
I know now that their base of operations right now is Orlando. It's not such a huge deal splitting up couples. Bianca Belair got drafted to SmackDown, so it makes you think, well, maybe Street Profits are going to SmackDown too.
Things are so different now, though, because that's what the first thing I thought too when I saw Bianca was coming to SmackDown. I was like, oh, that must mean. But at the same time, you're right. Like there's the landscape has completely changed, and it's not really going to get any different anytime soon. I mean, I know that, there had been reports. I think Fightful had a report that said some of the talent were told, hey, Triple H publicly said he doesn't expect them to be traveling anytime soon, but behind the scenes, evidently they've been told, hey, expect travel at some point. That could mean, both brands are going to be traveling together depending on how they're going to work this out. I don't know.
That was I think WrestleVote said the same thing, that whenever they travel to whatever city they're going to, they will do Raw and SmackDown there.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, the New Day as a tag team, the tag team version of the New Day, this isn't, they're still going to be a big deal. Big E, I really hope that he's in line for a big push. It seems like he is. You remember how Sanity had like their group theme, and then Nikki had her own version of Sanity, and Killian Dane had his version of Sanity? I wouldn't mind to signify this. Big E get his own version of the New Day theme, something to signify. I mean, I've been calling this for a while. I've been calling for this for a while. We've seen him go through this thing with Sheamus, and, they referenced it, the being the comedy guy has to stop at a certain point. He's got to get serious. And that's why Big E was crushing Sheamus with a garbage can. And it was great. It's like, okay, yeah, he's going to have focus now. He's a singles guy. I do think that there should be some sort of signifier, but I think it'd be great if he continued to pay homage to the New Day and he considered himself part of the New Day. I think that'd be a wise move. You don't want him all of a sudden to be a completely different person. But yeah, I think they'll all be fine. I think that you have some opportunities for some long-term booking here. Maybe they'll end up on the same brand again a year or two from now.
Yeah, they will.
And it'll be great. But yeah, I do think that, they've been around for a long time. They've kept relevant for a long time. I think I have faith in their act that they can handle a split and still be successful.
Yeah. No, I have the utmost faith in the three of them to make this all work. Hopefully WWE Creative listens to them.
I think that's sort of the key, is that will Creative find, and I don't even have I think that regardless, Xavier and Kofi are going to be fine. They'll be great. Big E existing and succeeding in a singles landscape. Creative doesn't always, I mean, he's on SmackDown. SmackDown's been really good lately. So hopefully he'll.
Yeah, that's going to change now that Seth and the Mysterios are there.
Dude, okay, well, okay, let's talk about that. Not there weren't a whole lot of changes, really.
Not a ton. But
I mean,
they
we
get
sort
their
of
hopes up early on with Seth getting drafted to
Oh
SmackDown.
my God!
Saying, oh, I'm putting the Mysterios behind me. I don't want to see their faces anymore. Half hour later, Ray and Dom drafted to SmackDown.
Why did they limit it to just saying it was? I understand. I know the answer to this because they're the active wrestlers. But why couldn't they have just said the entire Mysterio family? like you see Mama Mysterio, Alana, who apparently Vince really likes and wants to, or Aaliyah, sorry.
Yeah.
He wants to push her.
If Buddy doesn't get drafted to SmackDown, you know.
He will be. He will be. Yeah, of course he's gonna be. He has to be. Here's the thing about Buddy. Buddy more than anything, the only reason why that story should continue is to give Buddy something to work with. Could you imagine Buddy Murphy on that 3-hour Raw just getting lost in the 24/7 scene? Because that's what would happen. That's exactly what would happen, and that's terrifying. He'd still be wearing. He'd be chasing the 24/7 title with with the disciple still written on his tights.
Well, here's the thing too: is you want to hope that after what happened on Raw, Buddy finally standing up for himself, attacking Seth, that would lead to a blow off, or I could see them saying like, well, I mean, Buddy, Seth got his comeuppance from Buddy. He got beat up a little bit, even though Seth got the kendo stick and beat up on Buddy with it afterwards. Let's just move on.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. They wouldn't even bother trying to reason it out. They would say, it would be this. Well, the stories between Seth and Ray. That's what it would be. It would just be that. It's like, who cares about it?
Here's the thing. I hope that maybe Ray is close to being healthy. That at Hell in the Cell, he and Seth can have their blow off, and then we can move on. Ray could win that match, and then we can move on with our lives.
Here's the other thing that sucks about the Mysterios being on SmackDown. I really enjoy SmackDown. If I have to see Dominic Mysterio, who's been around for like 2 seconds, and he's already like an upper mid-carder without really earning it, and without me giving a damn about the kid, I'm going to go crazy, because he's just taking a spot from a guy like, I don't know, well, they don't do anything with Shorty G anyways.
No, he's a free agent too.
But I don't know. They're taking up valuable real estate with that guy. And that's fine on Raw because you have 3 hours. Who cares? But you put over to SmackDown, time is precious.
Exactly.
So yeah, Seth and the Mysterio family now on SmackDown. Hurt Business stays on Raw. Well, let's just go through it because we have all the things on the show.
Let's jump right into it. So yeah, we both missed the very beginning. There was some sort of Miz and Morrison thing. Totally missed that. Fox website was being difficult for me. I had a hard time signing in. So Steph comes out, announces the first picks. They are as follows. Drew McIntyre, #1 overall to Raw.
Not
Roman
shocking
Reigns,
at all.
#2 overall to SmackDown. Not shocking. Asuka, 3rd overall to Raw. Seth, 4th overall to SmackDown. Hurt Business, 5th overall, stays on Raw. And after that, we get a Seth Rollins interview. He talks about being officially on SmackDown. About the Monday Night Raw or the Monday Night Messiah thing. Said it wasn't about a name; it's about the message. He's excited to go to SmackDown. He's got new paths to blaze, but he's upset he won't be there to see the Mysterio family implode. But he doesn't have to look at their faces either. Onward he goes on Friday nights.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had a really fantastic.
Oh man, this was great.
Falls Count Anywhere, Big E versus Sheamus.
Bloody. This is more blood that's ever been on. It's been on WWE television in a long time.
It doesn't hurt that Sheamus's skin is like particularly conducive to welting up pretty easily with those kendo sticks and
I don't know,
pretty much
like,
any bump.
When towards the finish, when Big E put Sheamus up on the hood of the car, like Big E had blood all down his arm.
I didn't know if that was him or Sheamus. I'm assuming
I didn't
that
know either.
Because Sheamus gave him the white noise on the windshield. I assumed
and
it was Big E's.
You can see. Well, so Sheamus had some. You can basically see the pieces of glass stuck in his back.
He got busted early with that kendo stick because he's like pale, and so that just happens. But yeah, this was really great. My thing is, dude, this is my one wish, and I might clip this and put it out there and tag him in this. Big E, you got the singles push. Please stop doing suicide dives. When Sheamus was up on the apron and he speared him through the ropes.
Yeah, no, his
off
feet
the
got
apron.
caught on the ropes.
That scares the living shit
Yeah,
out
it
of
scared me too.
It really does. And every time he's done a suicide dive, I'm honest. I can appreciate the ridiculousness of a Rey Fenix suicide dive when he like lands on, the head of the company in AAA. I can appreciate that. It still freaks me out. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a move that's overdone. It's too dangerous. I don't want to see Big E get hurt because of a dumb suicide dive. Take it out of your moveset. I hate that move so much. So yeah, there's that. Under the ring, Big E is looking for a weapon.
Sheamus's.
Well, Big E, when he looked under the ring, he found some prop bootios.
That's true.
And then found a kendo stick. I just wanted to mention the bootios.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
Yes, but then Sheamus ended up getting it, wrapped up Big E in the ropes, goes to town with the kendo stick. At one point, Sheamus under the ring, Big E duct tapes his ankles together. That was pretty funny. It was like a Yano thing right there. They go backstage. They battle back there. Sheamus finds where they make pancakes, apparently, because there's like a whole crate of eggs
and a bunch of
flour.
Yeah.
So he starts dumping all that stuff on Big E. Big E gets the upper hand with a broom, a single-use garbage can, which he uses multiple times.
Hold on a second. Do we ever find out how Sheamus managed to unduct tape his feet?
I didn't notice. I imagine it was during a commercial break.
It happened during commercial break, yeah.
Probably. Because I think I know he got hit over the barricade, and I think they probably went to commercial break there. Because I think when we came back there, they were up at the stage. So they get to the parking garage. I kind of figured the fall would happen on the windshield, like the 3 count would happen on the windshield. But Sheamus gets a tire iron out on the hood of a car. Sheamus hits white noise on the windshield. He covers. Big E kicks out at 2. Sheamus is like, he can't believe it. Sheamus puts Big E in a trunk. He sort of drapes his arm over, like, outside the trunk, and he's about
to,
like,
down with his foot, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to break it with the trunk door. Big E gets out. Sheamus, this is really cool. Sheamus bro kicks the trunk door off. He goes for a bro kick. Big E catches him, power bombs him on the car, and then the big ending through a table off the car.
That was great.
Big E gets 3. Really,
Fantastic.
just a terrific match.
This is really great stuff. So after that, we had a Big E interview. He's about to answer the question. And that's when Kofi comes up to him. And then Xavier Woods. They're all back together. But Kofi says, something's missing. He and Woods want to get those tag titles back. And so stage is set. What we see later tonight after that, we had a Jey Uso promo. He's out in the ring. He calls out Roman. He wants to know what the stipulation is for Hell in a Cell. Of course, Roman no-shows. Jey realizes or knows. Roman will only answer on his own terms. And that's when Heyman shows up on the Tron. Says Jey is embarrassing his family by trying to dictate the terms of Roman's appearance. But says the champ applauds Jey's ambitions. But to those who get too ambitious, here's what happens when you step in the ring against Roman. Flashback to Clash of Champions. Shot widens out, and there's Roman sitting on the couch.
I like that Heyman, before the video, was talking as if Roman was trying to take a nap of news.
Oh, I know. That's their thing now. They're both trying to emote like, Heyman, like in pretty huge kind of gestures, but do it at a whisper.
I like it when I really like Roman's delivery these days. I'm not huge on Heyman doing it. I don't want him to replicate what he did with Brock, which was over the top. But I'm not a fan of whispering.
Well, Heyman's trying to hit the same beats in the same way as he did with Brock, but just do it at a whisper.
I'm not a fan of whispering.
That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not a fan of whispering.
So now the shot winds out. Roman's sitting on the couch. He said his dad told him that you should only really believe half of what you see, but what you saw there in that recap from Clash, you can believe that. Again, he says he tried to help Jey, tried to make his life better. All that Jey had to do was say the words, acknowledge him as a tribal chief. So he said, so now for the first time inside Hell in a Cell, there will be an I Quit match. And he paused for a second. I was waiting for the next thing. Like, not only if you say I quit, not only you quit the match, you're out of the family or something like that,
Yeah, they really should have done that reveal here, because all he ended up saying was there's going to be, he says, after you say I quit, there will be consequences. And yeah, it needs to be like you're out of the family. I mean, that's what it has to be. You're out of the family. You know, you and your, scrub kids aren't allowed to come to Thanksgiving anymore. And you have to change your last name. Yeah, I really feel like it should have been said here because it could have been a really powerful moment.
Yeah. After that, Steph comes out, announces the second round of picks. Before she does that, she announces there'll be a tag title match, New Day versus Cesaro and Nakamura later. Second round goes as follows. AJ Styles goes to Raw. Sasha Banks staying on SmackDown. Naomi is going to Raw.
And MVP tweeted some interest in that particular pickup. That could be cool.
Bianca Belair going to SmackDown.
I like that.
And then, yeah, I do too. And then Nia and Shayna, they're staying on Raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, we had an AJ Styles Matt Chat question. He said, "I should."
Are you reading off my notes, or do you have that in your notes too?
It says AJ Matt Chat.
That's exactly what it says on mine.
This was the most Matt Chat of the Matt Chats that we've experienced on WWE programming because it was all pixely. It had to be vertical.
Yeah.
Anyways, I should be offended. It's like immediately like a Christopher Rappersod Matt Chat. Steven Larson, I should be offended. He said, I should be the number one pick. I'm relieved. A person of my skill should not be surrounded by cheaters like Jeff and low down whatever like Sami Zayn. I'm going to Raw. My future looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now he's just JR.
Yeah, no. After that, we had Miz and Morrison versus Jeff Hardy and Matthew Riddle. Apparently, this match came about because Matt Riddle just said, I want to tag with Jeff Hardy before I get drafted off SmackDown. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing he didn't ask Seth Rollins to tag with him, apparently. Given what Seth said on the watch-along.
Boy.
Yeah. So anyways, after this match ended, it was pretty clear that Miz and Morrison's days on SmackDown were over because they took a pretty quick L here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they pushed that court thing to next week. Yeah, that's boy.
Probably they set forth the storyline of Miz and Morrison going with that money big briefcase, and then when they finally decided what to do with the draft, they decided to move Miz and Morrison over to Raw. Mm-hmm. That's never going to pan out to anything. So anyways, Riddle hits Bro Derek on Miz to get the win. Then Lars Sullivan makes his return. He's got a beard now.
Yep.
So he comes to the ring. And I like that they cut to Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy, he and Matt, I think when they had to vacate the tag titles, took a beat down from Lars Sullivan when Jeff hurt his knee. And so they cut to Jeff, and Jeff just does this.
Yeah.
So Lars lays everybody out. Freak accidents for basically everybody. Even Matt Riddle got destroyed. Mm-hmm. So right there, you can see what the pecking order is. Mm-hmm. So Riddle eats a freak accident. Miz does too. It was pretty great when Morrison was trying to pull Miz out of the ring. Couldn't do it. So Lars is back, and then Steph announces that he's being added to Monday's draft pool.
Lars Sullivan is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Well, I guess Braun is in Monday's draft pool as well, huh? He's probably
but he's got a title match next week on SmackDown, so he's staying on SmackDown.
Who, Braun?
Yeah, there's a Universal title match next week.
Oh, that's who it is. Okay, I was in the kitchen and I heard somebody's getting a Universal title. Oh, that's Braun.
It's Braun. He's staying on Braun, so Keith Lee might be going to SmackDown.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Because those guys, Braun, Keith Lee, and Lars Sullivan, they kind of occupy similar territory. You can put Lars Sullivan and Raw in it. What they do? They're all big monster guys.
Yeah, no, being Keith, I consider a slightly different tier because he's more athletic than either of the other two.
Still a bit, well, yeah, but you saw their match between him and Braun. It was just pure destruction last week.
Yeah.
He's definitely in that category.
Yeah.
So next round of the draft. Did I get this right? Ricochet stays on Raw? Okay. Mm-hmm. Boy, that was a bad move. Jey Uso stays on SmackDown. Mandy Rose stays on Raw. Then Rey and Dominic go to SmackDown. I sounded like Brian Alvarez then. And Rey and Dominic go to SmackDown.
It sucks.
It sucks.
You're just missing that.
They didn't get enough Seth Rollins, did they? They got to come to follow him on SmackDown. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what Fox really likes Rey Mysterio.
Well, tell me this, Dave. Why do they like Rey Mysterio so much?
Well, he's a Vince guy. But they're all Vince guys.
They're all Vince guys. What are you talking about, Dave? That's all Alvarez does is just give Dave crap.
Can we just do an hour of Wrestling Observer?
Oh, gosh. Last pick of that round, third round, Miz and Morrison going to Raw.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We cut to Ray and Dom backstage. They're happy that A, they weren't separated. B, they get to finish things with Seth. Ray says Seth thought he was through with the past, but the past ain't through with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, we've got Sasha Banks versus Bayley. This is literally about 5 minutes long, and it ended up with Bayley. This was stupid. This was dumb. Like I honestly thought, I was like, okay, new season, big draft. This will be a big match. They'll do something big here. Sasha came out and it was like, oh, this is just going to be a run of the mill DQ, isn't it? And then Bayley comes out.
You could tell by just her expression walking out, she wasn't walking out with that title.
Dude, why don't they? I understand that they're a draw. I get it for TV reasons. Why you'd put them together in a match, I guess. But keep them apart. Keep them apart till Hell in a Cell.
Sasha should have not returned to WWE television for at least a month after getting that beatdown from Bayley.
Yeah, right.
Period.
That was a huge beatdown.
Yeah, keep her off for a month, and then when she shows up, she doesn't do an interview. She comes out and she attacks Bayley first thing. She didn't show up at the Performance Center to talk with a neck brace on. No.
Yeah.
She comes out and beats up Bayley.
Yeah.
It's like everything after Bayley has turned on Sasha has not hit the right notes.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything just kind of feels like, well, they're a draw. We need to put them on TV somehow.
Bayley had a decent promo, and then it's from there. It's been all kind of like bleh.
I mean, as a glimpse of what we are to expect when they finally have their match, seemingly a Hell in a Cell. Like, this was really good. What we got. But we just knew there wasn't going to be a clean finish, and there wasn't.
Yeah. 5 minutes that it was 5 minutes. I looked at the clock. The 5 minutes was cool because Sasha kept on trying to turn pin attempts, kickouts into bank statements.
It was smooth.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Bayley was getting worked.
Yeah.
She was getting worked, and it motivates the chair shot because Bayley rolls out of the ring, decks Sasha in the gut with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha wins by DQ.
Yeah.
And then Bayley takes the chair into the ring, tries to go after Sasha. Sasha kicks her, does a faceplant thing of Bayley into the chair after she sets it up. Lands a few shots, puts the chair around Bayley's neck, goes the second rope, but the stomp on it, and Bayley escapes, rolls out of the ring.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like the angle after the match adds any fuel to the fire that was already there, you know?
No, I agree with you.
I mean, really, you should have kept Sasha out for months. She doesn't show up again till the Rumble.
Yep. I would have said Survivor Series is good. November's good. Survivor Series is good. Anyways, backstage, Alexa Bliss goes up to Kevin Owens and says, "Let me in. Let him in." And then we got tag team action. The New Day challenging for Cesaro and Nakamura's tag team titles. This is really fun stuff. Makes you realize how much I missed Kofi and Xavier doing their things. There's that really cool spot on the outside where Kofi sort of bounces off the rope from his midsection to DDT Cesaro on the floor. That was really cool.
It's great seeing Xavier Woods out there and not miss a beat, man. Being
I know,
for
it's
about a
awesome.
year from a torn Achilles and doing all the same stuff.
And he looks so happy to be out there, too.
Mm-hmm.
So the finish saw Cesaro go for the swing Kinshasa combo with Shinsuke. Woods is able to keep Shinsuke from hitting that. Kofi gets a Trouble in Paradise on Cesaro. Shinsuke hits a kick to Kofi, but then eventually Trouble in Paradise hits Shinsuke. Kofi hits Shinsuke with a Trouble in Paradise. Woods hits his elbow drop. New champions, the New Day. Afterwards, Big E comes out to celebrate. I put here 100% he's going to Raw now, but that's not quite how it went down. Stephanie comes out. Raw takes the new SmackDown champions, the New Day. SmackDown gets Big E. It was great because right after she announces the SmackDown champions are going to Raw, you hear Xavier say, okay, say E's name. Say Big E. Say his name. Say E. What about Big E? And you see Big E's face is like, oh, crap. And then she says, he goes to SmackDown.
Yeah. And, maybe this was genuine or somewhat genuine, somewhat performance, but E's performance on this was spectacular.
I think the emotion for realizing that this is it, that was real.
Yeah.
I don't think they found out in the moment. That'd be fascinating if they did. That'd be fascinating.
I get, like the impression I got generally is top names, they might find out in advance where they're going, but everybody else, they just kind of find out when it's announced.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, that's what I understand as well. This is sort of a big deal. I wonder if they would have told in advance, or if maybe if Vince and Stephanie think, well, this is the fun. This is part of the fun of doing this. But I mean, if the ideas had been pitched and WrestleVotes knew in advance, I'd like to think that the New Day knew in advance too.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think there's certain story beats you'd want to hit, like in the promo early on. There's things that you want to lay the groundwork for. So when this moment happens, it has maximum impact.
Well, I told you also before we started rolling here on the show, even in the parking lot after Big E's win during his interview, when Kofi and Xavier show up, he looked, I was like, dude, is he going to like turn on them or something? Is he like upset? Because he seemed genuinely happy, but not performing happy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like he even looked bittersweet in that moment. If you go back and watch that, he was like, oh man, it's so great to see you guys. And then he just sort of got quiet, and then they started doing the New Day Rock thing, and he's like, oh, let's do this, because it's something for him to latch on to.
At first, I noticed that too, and I kind of read that as I just vanquished my first real foe as a singles competitor. Huge moment for me personally. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to see my friends here. But
I'm on a mission.
That's how I read it.
That's how I read it too, because I thought of performance. But now in retrospect, I just kind of wonder if he's thinking like, this sucks. Like, I'm not going to be on the same show as them.
He's getting misty already.
Even though I'm not sure. I mean, I would imagine somebody who has devoted so much time to this act that has gotten them so much success, it'd be hard to hide your feelings. Oh, yeah. I just think it'd be real.
The three of them are see these guys. Like basically family too.
Yeah, he's still gonna see these guys. He's still gonna be best friends. But like, to not be there on camera to live this out with them for the near future, anyways, that's got to weigh kind of heavy on you.
I'm sure it is. I'm hoping when he beats Roman for that title at Mania, then when they get after next week when they have their farewell match on SmackDown, like, don't have them cross paths. Mm-hmm. Period. Mm-hmm. Until, if the plan is for E to have a huge moment at Mania, don't really have them cross paths until then.
Oh, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with them. I want to see them do stuff together.
I do too, but I think
Xavier Woods comes out there every week with them. That'd be cool.
You get the maximum impact of them being apart, and then he, has a huge moment at Mania, beats Roman or something like that. Then they come out. Like the emotional moment, that's such a huge emotional moment. That'd be something else, man.
There is a huge emotional moment with the next pick. Raw gets to keep Dana Brooke. Why don't they just take her as a tag team with Mandy Rose?
I don't know. It's a waste of a pick essentially. She's in a tag team with Mandy Rose. Let's draft the tag team.
I'm gonna do this once now, and then once a little bit later. SmackDown keeps. Oh yeah, Otis.
Free mode.
That's not the same thing.
And then Angel Garza stays on Raw.
That means Andrade's totally going to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
If not, that's so dumb if they don't pick them as a tag team. Let's see here. After that, oh yeah, Otis and Tucky are backstage. They're talking about, why do you do that every time?
Because someone in chat said when you say, oh yeah, it's really annoying, and so you're annoying somebody, so I feel
Number one, it wasn't somebody in chat. It was somebody in YouTube comments. They don't count. They're not
Oh, sorry, YouTube comments. You annoyed someone in the YouTube comments, so I feel like if you're going to do it, then I should annoy you,
But you're not annoyed by my Otis?
No, but this other person is.
What do you care about some YouTube commenter? I'm gonna mute your desk.
It's just an excuse. It's just an excuse to annoy you.
Oh, that's irritating.
Free mode. Anyways, carry on.
Oh yeah. So they're talking about the draft a little bit. He's like, Tucky, they drafted me, but not you. What does that mean? And he's like, don't worry about that. He said, then they start practicing some legal jargon. And then somebody comes up and serves. So the legal jargon was pretty funny stuff. Quid pro quo. One of Mrs. Lawyers comes up, or the person who the person who serves stuff, gives them, and it's a continuance. They're pushing it to next week, I believe. Is that right?
No, they didn't say. They didn't say when.
I thought it was next week. They're just pushing
the whole
it.
idea that Tucky says to Otis is Miz is trying to draw this out to drain you dry, and that's when Otis says, "No one drains me of my moisture."
I like this. He was like, I got me some aggressive looking pens. No, you're out of order. I thought that was pretty damn funny. Anyways, after that we got a Sasha Banks promo, and she's be doing Hell in a Cell. That's what this is.
Yeah,
she's gonna do Hell in a Cell.
She wants Hell in a Cell.
You want L? Oh yeah, you get Hell in a Cell.
Free mode.
The Fiend versus Kevin Owens closed us out.
Well, hold on. They announced 2 matches next week: Roman versus Braun for Universal title. Again, kind of a tell of where Braun's going.
Yeah,
and then they're doing a New Day farewell match, which I think is good, is great, because New Day has meant a lot to SmackDown throughout the years. So it's New Day versus Sheamus, Cesaro, and Nakamura.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah.
I was waiting for my pizza to show up at that point. I was like, man, I only got 20 minutes. I got to get ready for this
pizza
podcast.
tonight. That sounds good. I haven't had pizza in a while.
Oh, yeah. It was great. Didn't hear you. Cool. The Fiend versus Kevin Owens. We're just children sometimes, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that Sister Abigail against the table was pretty cool. Fiend did Kevin Owens didn't get a whole lot of offense in this, did he? He got the pop-up power bomb through the table,
pretty much.
and then the Fiend beat the 10 count, so he got basically no-sold that.
There's a lot of no-selling from the Fiend in this match. Here's the thing: it's like inconsistent no-selling too, because he'll take a clothesline, a cannonball, he'll sell that more in a stunner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, the finish was cool. So Fiend puts the mandible claw on Owens after beating a 10 count. Owens just ran right into it. Owens kind of turns around, so his back's to the Fiend, hits a stunner, and the Fiend doesn't even fall.
Mm-hmm.
Owens gets back up. Fiend no-sells it. Still has the claw locked in. Hits an Uranagi with the claw still locked in. And then Owens passes out due to mandible claw. Lights go down. They come back up. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss are face to face now on the stage. They both look down at the ring briefly. You see Owens kind of coming to, and then they turn back towards each other as the show goes off the air.
Let me in. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. All in all, I mean, time will tell about these draft picks. It always takes a couple weeks anyways for the new roster members to settle in, get some stuff going. But good Lord, I really don't need the Mysterios and Seth eating up a half hour of TV on SmackDown.
I'm telling you, man, if this goes past Hell in a Cell, I might give up on SmackDown.
I'd be cool with it. Yeah.
Until that feud's over, because it's too much. It's been going on way too long. I understand Ray's injury is probably prolonging this more than they may have had planned. Maybe, I don't know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's let them have their blow off at Hell in a Cell, assuming Ray is healthy. And let's just move on. Yeah,
let's do that. We can just stop doing this, man. I'll just hop on somebody else's show or something. Start taking Fridays off.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Next up, questions.
Free mode. Nats said it's gonna what? Oh, as far as what the consequences for Jey Uso, it's gonna be he has to call Roman the tribal chief and join his tribe.
He's gonna have to wear a Roman Reigns is a tribal chief shirt.
It just says tribal chief and an arrow that points towards Roman.
Right. That's good.
Hip Hop Hippo says here, reminder, Titus O'Neil said that Lars apologized and forgave him. If Lars has really turned his life around, I think that matters. I feel like Titus can be trusted. I just read a thing with Titus where he talked about that and said that Lars seeked him out, and they talked for a half hour. And then Titus, believed that Lars was contrite and was looking to change and better himself. So
yeah, he did that to people that were backstage. Mm-hmm. He went up to many people backstage and said, "Hey, this was a dumb thing, dude. If I was judged for the rest of my life by my actions when I was 22, mind you, I never went on any message boards and did super racist stuff or anything like that. Nor did I do any pornography movies, but." If I were to be judged by the actions of me at 22, well into the next decade or two, I would probably not get very far in life. There are some things where you could just say, yeah, this was stupid, and he's obviously and according to Titus, who talked a lot about this. This guy went out of his way to apologize to many people backstage. He ate $100,000 fine from the WWE.
Fine.
Yeah. He had the added humiliation of the porno stuff coming out. I want to see the guy succeed. Life can be about second chances.
Exactly.
If the guy has changed as a human being.
Exactly.
And,
if he's shown contrition and has made the effort to change, absolutely, definitely second chances, man. Shane's birthday tweet: they probably have Sasha on TV to help advertise for The Mandalorian. That's not even out to the end of this month, though.
Wait, so what's that?
He says Shane's birthday tweet says they probably have Sasha on TV to help advertise for The Mandalorian, but that's not even, the second season's not starting until the end of this month.
I think I don't think it's that deep. I think it's they put Sasha on TV because she's a draw. She's a ratings draw. That's been proven out. Yeah. Like their quarter hours do like super good.
They do. They do.
So I get it. I totally understand it. But
it's from a storytelling perspective, it actually doesn't help the story they're trying to tell.
It's also why you need to make additional people who are draws. You can't rely on one person because then you're just forced to use those people.
5-second pose. Thank you for the bits.
Thank you very much, James Fletcher. If you could book AEW versus WWE, which 3 matches would you book?
Kenny versus AJ.
Hangman versus Seth Rollins.
Just about to say that. And then
give us a tag team match.
Young Bucks versus New Day.
There you go. That's the match. Let's see here.
Hip Hop Hippo has a question here. Bree mode.
Would you stop that? Okay, that's your last one. That's your last one. That's not a question.
Bree mode.
It's not a question. That's not a question. Ryan Armstrong. Power rank names Seth could use for a catchphrase to rhyme with Friday night. I don't know why I read that question. It just puts us on the spot.
Yeah.
Friday night.
I'm not feeling terribly clever right now.
Messiah. What's another word for Messiah? God. Savior.
I
don't know.
Loss. Why'd you read that?
I don't know. I shouldn't have read it.
Gareth, I'm just change the subject. Gareth Nicholas. Otis approaches going in Raw and asks for one of you to represent him in kayfabe court. Which one of you takes this pro bono job? Does your suit have sleeves?
No. So number one, I'm the guy who usually goes sleeveless, and number two, I feel like I can talk Otis's language. For example, when he says things like, "Oh yeah," and then I muted your audio so nobody could hear you say that.
All right.
That seems like it's unfair. I shouldn't be able to do that.
You shouldn't. It's actually really, really rude.
I know.
Bree mode.
See, I let that one fly because I felt bad instantly. Gregory Fiala asks, what is the best and worst? Oh, this is a great question. Best and worst draft value picks for both Raw and SmackDown from tonight. Best value pick for Raw has been Naomi. Best value pick for SmackDown has been Bianca Belair.
Yeah. The worst value pick is probably, and this isn't a slight towards Dana Brooke, she's in a tag team already with Mandy Rose. Draft them as a tag team, and then you get another pick to pick somebody Raw.
Right.
That's just bad draft strategy. So in that sense, worst value pick is Dana Brooke. I like Dana Brooke a lot. I think she's great.
I think Dana Brooke is fantastic.
And I'm going to say worst value pick for SmackDown is Otis. He's got a tag team partner there. You have basically no tag division. Take the team. Especially when Miz and Morrison already got drafted to Raw.
You do what? Wait, for the worst value pick is Otis? Why? What?
Because he's a member of a tag team. You already lost Miz and Morrison to Raw. And you already at this point lost Kofi and Xavier Woods to Raw. Draft Otis and Tucky. At least you have a tag team on the show.
Yeah, there's no reason why you wouldn't. Because even if you said, well, Raw's not going to pick up Tucky, so like you could just wait till he's a free agent. I mean, maybe if there's the roster cap thing like you were talking about, you're going to be like, well, Raw's not going to take him, so he can pick him up when he's a free agent, and then you don't have to worry about him taking up space as a roster cap.
Well, I mean, the roster cap would still apply to a free agent. I mean, if your roster cap is 40 members, if you have 40
but
members,
don't you want to maximize? Don't you want to maximize like your draft? I thought the roster cap only like applies to like I don't know who cares. It's WWE. They don't have any rules.
Yeah, there's no sense to it.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to try to make sense to it.
Nate of SOD, did Vince just look at the roster list and decide to put Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle together so he could tell commentary to spew the phrase Matt and Jeff repeatedly? Maybe.
It's the freak. They were doing the same thing with Lars Sullivan. Oh, look at this freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, call him a freak.
Oh, that's a good question. Jorge D, with Seth Rollins going on paternity leave sometime next year, would you guys have Roman be the guy to take him out when he goes?
Okay, so I know that it's Roman's catchphrase at this point, but he did drop the believe thing in his promo tonight. I wonder if they're gonna do something with him and Seth. That'd be kind of fun.
They could, but they haven't dropped the believe thing. I think Heyman has said it at least once too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Didn't he say that when it was revealed, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
And you can believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting with those two bad guys, the Shield bad guys, on the same thing.
Rand Wildman, what ways would Steve and Larson improve the draft beyond doing more than Steph reading out the names? Just some sense to it. When you have someone or two people who are already in a tag team, and you draft them separately, that makes zero sense.
This is what I want. This is perfect sense. Because you can't have war rooms with USA and Fox anymore. There's one war room. There's one man in that war room, and he's got a bunch of phones and fax machines, and it's scrap iron. And he's got the dress shirt on with a tie, but his sleeves are rolled up. There's all sorts of smoke because it's like back in the day when you could smoke in war rooms. So he's all stressed out, like smoking several packs during this whole thing. And he's trying to figure out everything between Fox and USA. So at least you know that there's some guy there instead of Stephanie, trying to be all playful with him and being like, "Ooh, see the draft card? See the draft card?" And he's like, "Oh, wow, let me see this." It's like, I don't know. That's what I want to see. I want to see scrap iron trying to craft the two most perfect rosters.
Effectively, you want more scrap iron.
I just want more scrap iron.
Fear and Loathing, you guys have been broken up. Pick a podcaster you like to be your new co-host. Pick a podcast you like to move to.
Is this just me or did your audio just get really weird?
Did my audio get weird?
Now you're normal again. Don't
right.
do anything. You're normal again.
So we've been broken up. Pick a new co-host and pick a podcast you'd move to.
Oh, we've been broken up through the draft.
Yeah.
Pick a new co-host. Well, wouldn't you have to pick Cal? You guys did such a great time.
Yeah, Cal's great.
Such a great job together.
Cal's great.
Oh, man. I would go with 538's Nate Silver. It's like my favorite podcast, and he's a smart fella who knows numbers and stats and stuff.
How would that apply to wrestling, though?
How wouldn't it apply to wrestling? Come on.
No,
I wonder if he could do a good. Wonder if he could do a good
stuff.
Wonder if he could do a good Otis impression. Because here's the thing: the election's about to be done with. They're not going to have any more. Hopefully, politics will just go back to boring. So nobody's going to be listening to our podcast. They want to shift. He was originally a sports guy, anyways. I think. Didn't he become popular by predicting? I don't know, a whole bunch of sports stuff correctly.
I mean, I maybe. He got on my radar simply because of the poll stuff, politics.
Let's see here. I swear. Oh wow, he's my age. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, he first gained public recognition developing a system for forecasting the performance and career development of Major League Baseball players, which he sold to and then managed for Baseball Prospectus from 2003 to 2009.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Flats, how do you make the Fiend interesting again? The Bliss stuff feels really weird. I think the stuff with Alexa is really interesting. I don't know where it's going.
I love that stuff. I think it's great. Yeah, I know. Me neither. I think it's awesome.
They picked a really good time to add an extra dimension to the Fiend before he got boring.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh and Longcavity just says, Pre-mode, Shadow Ghoul, what is T-Bar's ceiling now that Ali is the leader of Retribution? I think him and Mace would make a really dominant tag team.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
Have Ali go after that U.S. title. He and Lashley getting a prolonged feud, I think would be really cool. And then have Mace and T-Bar go after those tag titles. I think that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
Oh, interesting. Night by night. If you had the authority to give judicial powers to anyone in the world, who would you have preside over the Otis Biz trial?
I would let Judge Ito try to find some redemption because everybody slammed him for his handling of the OJ trial.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a judge. You're not going to say Wapner?
Is he even still alive?
Does it matter? Come on, man. Give me a judge. Give me a good judge.
I'm trying to think of a wrestler who could preside over it. Oh, The Undertaker.
It's The Undertaker, yeah. Wrestler's
The Undertaker,
court.
yeah.
He was the Judge Wapner of wrestling.
Yeah. Rage Bear, do you think we'll see any NXT call-ups on Monday since none were part of the draft pool? Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope.
I think there's going to be their own call-up things.
Eerie thoughts on merging other titles divisions like the women's tag division. They should definitely do it for the men's tag division because they seem so intent on breaking up tag teams.
Mm-hmm. Moses opposes. Who would you like to see Seth Rollins convert as his new disciples now that he's on SmackDown? Shorty G. That's Matt Riddle.
Can't top that answer.
I gotta watch that video, man.
Oh man,
did he seem totally out of character? Wow.
I mean, it's one thing for him to say, "I don't really want to work with Matt Riddle at any point," but the one he says he can go to Raw for all I care. Wow. White Brownie says, with Mercedes Martinez reportedly going back to NXT, who's taking her spot in Retribution?
Nobody.
I don't think anybody.
Nobody. Although I do like the idea that they have one representative in the women's division, which is another reason why Hurt Business should pick up Naomi to do that. Couple clarifications here before we go. Tony V. Sorry. Look at Tony V's comment in chat.
Is it down at the bottom?
It's just a little ways up.
Is it highlighted?
No, it's underneath Jorge, above Jorge's. Jorge says, Judge Wapner's been dead since 1993. Tony V makes a recent pop culture reference with Judge Wapner. I expected that comment out of Ricky Scurvy.
Oh, wow.
Judge Bustdown. Oh, man. That's too funny. All right. Twitch chat. Stay tuned. We'll be around. And otherwise, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Video 2 of our draft, of our WWE mock draft, where the Going In Raw Cup is on the line.
Yep.
We'll be going up tomorrow. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson.